Imagine this. You open your eyes, but something feels different. Your room is gone, your phone is gone. The entire modern world has disappeared because now you are standing 100,000 years ago, a world where humans were not the kings. No farms, no supermarkets, no restaurants, no stored food, nothing. Just endless forests, unknown sounds, and millions of hungry creatures. A lion wakes up with sharp teeth. A wolf wakes up with speed. A bear wakes up with incredible power. But you wake up with no claws, no sharp teeth, no strong armor, just a weak body and an empty stomach. And now, there is only one question. Will you find food first, or will something else find you? Because the ancient world was a battle for survival every single day. But somehow, this weak creature survived. How? The answer was not strength, it was the ability to understand nature. At first, humans were not powerful hunters. They were searching, looking everywhere, for anything they could eat. High in trees, they found sweet fruits. On the ground, they collected nuts and seeds. Under the soil, they discovered roots. But sometimes, survival meant eating things that many people today would never imagine. Tiny creatures hiding under rocks and inside trees, insects, termites, grubs, small creatures, full of energy. Today you may see them as disgusting, but thousands of years ago, finding them could mean staying alive. Because for early humans, food was not about taste, food was about survival. But there was a problem, a very big problem. Fruits disappeared with seasons, plants were not always available, and the human body needed more energy, especially one organ that was becoming different from every other animal, the brain. And this hungry brain pushed humans toward one of the most dangerous foods on Earth, meat. But there was one problem. The animals that carried this food were faster, stronger, and deadlier than humans. So how did a weak human get meat in a world ruled by predators? But getting meat was not easy. Imagine standing in the wild in front of you, a giant animal, hundreds of kilograms heavier, with powerful muscles, sharp horns, and deadly attacks. And you, just a small human, holding a simple stone. One wrong move could be the end, because ancient humans were not built like predators. They couldn't fight like lions. They couldn't bite like wolves. They couldn't overpower giant animals. So they used something that no other creature used like them, their brain. They watched, they waited, they learned. When powerful predators hunted, humans noticed something. After lions finished eating, they often left something behind. Bones, small pieces of meat, and hidden inside those bones was something extremely valuable. Bone marrow, a food full of energy, a treasure locked inside bones. And humans discovered a simple trick, a stone that could open this treasure. But how do we know this really happened? The answer was hidden for thousands of years inside ancient bones. Scientists studying fossils found tiny cut marks made by stone tools. Paleoanthropologist Brianna Pobina studied these ancient clues, showing how early humans used tools to get food from animals. A small mark on a bone became a message from our ancient past. But humans didn't stop there. A normal rock became a sharp tool. A wooden stick became a weapon. Slowly, the weakest animal started becoming dangerous, not because humans became stronger, but because humans became smarter. One human alone was weak, but a group of humans could plan, could communicate, could work together. They shared food, they shared knowledge, they learned from mistakes, and generation after generation, they became better survivors. But one big problem was still there. Raw food. It was difficult to chew, hard to digest, and sometimes dangerous. Humans needed something that could change everything, something that every animal feared, but humans learned to control. A power of nature that would transform their future forever. Fire. At first, humans did not control it, they feared it, because in the wild, fire was destruction. It burned forests, it destroyed everything in its path, and every animal stayed away from it. But then something incredible happened. Humans stopped only fearing fire and started learning from it. They discovered how to protect it, how to carry it, how to use it, and slowly the same force that once scared them became their greatest weapon. For the first time in history, one creature on Earth could change its food. Humans could cook. Hard meat became softer. Plants and roots became easier to eat, and food gave humans more usable energy. But the biggest change was happening somewhere else, not in their hands, not in their muscles, inside their head, the brain. This small organ needed a huge amount of energy, and better food helped humans survive, think, and create. Slowly, everything started changing. A stone was no longer just a stone. It became a tool. A stick was no longer just a stick. It became a weapon. A small fire was no longer just light. It became protection. At night, when predators walked in the darkness, humans gathered together around the fire. They shared food, they shared ideas, they shared stories, and those stories became knowledge. Knowledge that passed from parents to children. From one generation to another, thousands of years passed. The creature that once searched under rocks for insects started building homes, creating villages, building cities, making machines, and eventually reaching beyond Earth. But remember, our story did not begin with technology or giant cities. It began with a hungry human standing in a dangerous world trying to survive one more day. Humans didn't win because they had the sharpest teeth. They didn't win because they had the strongest body. They survived because they had something far more powerful, the ability to learn, to imagine, and to change the future.